Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Coffee with Katie. I apologize in advance for the lighting. I know this is super not ideal, but it is really dark outside because it's daylight savings time and I did not have the ability to film sooner. I also want to apologize to say that I have been sick for a while, and so if my voice is not great or I cough, that is why. I'm trying to get over the plague and haven't been feeling up to filming much of anything. I needed to get a video up for you guys, and so we're just trucking through right now. I put on makeup to pretend that I feel much better than I actually do. And I got my Jack Skellington mug today, so let's go. Okay, so today's video is going to be all of the books that I'm hoping to read by the end of the year, aka pretty much my December TBR because November is almost over. So one of the books I would love to get to is the second Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas, which I believe is Crown of Midnight. I will put a picture up here. But I want to slowly get through that series, and I read the first one a few months ago, and so I figured I should, if I can, get to the next one. So I would like to pick up that one soon if I can. And if you don't know what Throne of Glass is, basically it's about this female assassin who was put into I think it's a mine, but a high security prison because of her assassination history, and she gets pulled out of that to enter a competition to become the king's champion, and whoever wins this competition will become like the king's assassin, etc. And they'll be, after they serve their time with that, they'll be freed. And so you're kind of following her story from there. I read the first one a few months ago, and I would just like to see where the story goes. The next one that I would love to get to is The Princess Will Save You by Sarah Henning. So when I first heard about this book, I was very excited because it is a Princess Bride retelling, and basically it's gender bent. So the princess is saving him, however that works out. And just that's honestly all I know about this, is that it's a Princess Bride retelling, and that's all I really need to know because I love The Princess Bride so much and I would love to get to this soon. Sorry if this light is like rough, but I'm just trying. I'm trying to give you light. Yeah, and this is book one of the Kingdoms of Sand and Sky, and again, that's all I really know about it, but that's all I needed to know. Another one that I would love to read that's actually been on my TBR in general for a very long time, and I've just never picked it up, and I'm just kind of in the mood for more lighthearted things, especially recently, is Bringing Down the Duke by E.B. Dunmore. This is not my typical genre. This is a historical fiction, but I feel like if there's and I think it's a romance too, but if there was a historical romance that would ever draw my attention, especially like this, because I love, like, you know, Hallmark movies and things like that, chick flicks, but if there was ever going to be a book that was going to draw my attention, it would be this, because it's kind of, to me, giving off like feminist vibes and set in a historical setting, and it just sounds sassy and great. So Bringing Down the Duke, it says that a daring Oxford rebel takes on a powerful duke in a love story that threatens to upend the British social order. England, 1879, brilliant but destitute Annabel Archer is one of the first female students at Oxford University. Her scholarship demands that she recruit men of influence to champion the rising women's suffrage movement. Her target, the cold and calculating Duke of Montgomery, commander of British politics. But Montgomery wouldn't be the kingdom's greatest strategist if he could turn the tables and confront Annabel with an altogether different offer. Locked in a battle with rising passion and impossible attraction, Annabel will learn just what it takes to topple the Duke. I don't know, it just sounds like a really good time, and this series in particular, I think there's 3 at this point, has just really intrigued me. And again, not my usual genre, not my usual reading taste, but I've been drawn to this for a while, and I just think it's time to pick it up. The next one I want to get to is These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan. And I got this in a fairy loot, and I've been wanting to read it for a while and just haven't yet. But basically, from what I know about this, is it is one of those fae fantasies. And there's this tiny little blurb on the back, and I'll read it to you, and it just says, "The king was right about one thing. I am a great thief. I can steal just about anything, but a fairy prince's heart, I wouldn't know where to start." And from what I understand of this premise, the main character is sent into this fae realm, and she has to steal the prince's heart, and she's going with an enemy. Maybe it's the other court, I don't know. Oh, okay, so her sister is taken by one of the courts. It's like Seelie and Unseelie, and in order to get her sister back, she's trying to like make this prince fall in love with her, which I think would kill him, or to kill him. Anyway, but she gets caught up in this like scheme, and I think it's like a love triangle situation where she's like, oh, but I'm falling for you, but oh, I'm falling for you, and whatever. Anyway, sounds fun, and I'm more into Fae worlds now than I was, just because I think it can be interesting depending on how it's done, but it sounds like a fun, cute read. So hoping to get to that. The next one that I'm wanting to get to is Hunting Prince Dracula by Carrie Maniscalco. As you know, I recently read Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco, and I'm really curious to continue this series. I also may or may not have, just sheerly on my love of the first one, ordered the special edition bookish box versions of this whole series. So I want to continue and see how much I like the rest of them, but I really love Thomas and Audrey Rose, and I can't wait to see where the story continues. And going to a new location and getting a new mystery just sounds really great, so I'm very much looking forward to getting to this. Another one that I'm hoping to get to is Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angelis. I've also had this book for quite some time, but I want to get to it, and it's just kind of one of those things where there's all these books that you want to get to, and then you don't know when is the right time or when you're going to, and so I just grabbed a bunch of those that I know I want to read, but I haven't made time for yet. And this, I've heard that if you love Caraval and you love The Greatest Showman, that you will love this book. You know, if you know me, well, first off, I don't know if you know this, I love The Greatest Showman. So if I love The Greatest Showman and I love Caraval, I feel like this cannot go wrong for me. I'm very excited about it. Basically, it's a competition. It's like a magic show competition. So there's these magicians. There's these magicians that are competing to become the next headliner for this circus. And that's really all I know about it. But I think that she's not supposed to compete because she's a woman, and that the competition is supposed to be very dangerous. So it just sounds like something that's definitely up my alley and may have Caraval vibes. We'll see after I read it if I think that is true or not. And this is book 1 in the Kingdom of the Cards, I believe just duology. I think it's just a duology. Another one that I recently picked up that you will see in a book haul soonish is The Color of Dragons by R.A. Salvatore and Erica Lewis. I saw this kind of on a whim when it was first releasing, and I hadn't really heard much about it, and then I was really intrigued by it and really curious about it. And it's Arthurian, and on the back it says, I dare say you've heard of Camelot, its handsome and brave king, its inevitable fall. This is a different tale. Ages before Arthur, ages before Guinevere, when magic was just a spark. And basically the main character is an apprentice of a sorcerer who doesn't really have any power, and somebody in the kingdom that is hunting down the Draconis, which is the, I guess, either dragons or people that can shift into dragons. I think it's shape-shifting dragons, which sounds great. And the story kind of unravels from there. And I don't really know much about it, that's all I know, but it sounds really cool, and, you know, it's at least alluding to dragons. It has to have dragons in it, and if it has dragons in it, I'm there. So also excited about this. I have no idea if I'm going to be able to read all these books before the end of the year, and I have no idea if I'm going to read these books or if I'm going to read other books, depending on what happens in life. But I am hoping to get to a lot of these and feeling much better so that I can get up some of my end of the year and looking to next year videos that I have planned. I would love to know what you're trying to read before the end of the year, or some of your favorite reads of this year. Please let me know in the comments down below. Like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to. And I will see you next time. Stay safe and caffeinated. Bye.